So you want your dream job in sports. You know each player on every team like the back of your hand. You can probably out-debate Stephen A with your big brain takes, but you continuously fail to land that job with your dream team. Meanwhile, the thought of having a normal job creeps in, and you feel like you're falling behind the curve. If there's only 30 teams in your sport, there may only be 30 of those jobs in the world. So your odds appear slim to none. But hey, I was one of those people with a normal job, and I managed to get a job with the Tampa Bay Rays on my first go-around. Yeah, the odds may be similar to the Houston Texans winning the Super Bowl in 2024, but I'll outline 4 things you can do to exponentially increase your chances of getting one of these jobs, and maybe even land an internship before you even graduate college. The first tip I can give you is to understand the team that you're interviewing for. Whatever it may be, you need to make sure your answers are aligned with their future vision. Wait, isn't every team trying to win a ring? Yes and no. You'd think everyone always wants to win, and winning is nice, but at the end of the day, these are all businesses. If you look at Steve Cohen, the Mets owner, you can see that that guy wants to win. He spends his money like a white girl at Starbucks in October with absolutely no regard to the luxury tax. Meanwhile, Bob Nutting, the owner of the Pittsburgh Pirates, is on a completely different agenda. Now, I'm not sure how their respective interview processes go, but I can't imagine the Mets operate the same way the Pirates do, so why would they be looking for the same candidates? They want people to have the same goals and processes as they do so they can work towards the same goal. This past year, when we were looking for candidates, we weren't necessarily looking for the smartest baseball hires. We were looking for people who thought a certain way, looked at things at multiple levels, and brought something new and interesting to our team that frankly, none of us probably thought of before. I can guarantee you that not all 29 other teams in the MLB are looking for the same things. So when you have your 5 interviews with 5 different teams, make sure you read articles, watch interviews with their GMs and owners, and tailor your mindset to match what the team's goals are. It'll not only show them that you want to work in sports, but it'll also show that you're a fan of their team. Anyways, it's 5:30 now. I gotta go get ready. Early workout day for spring training. God. So just finished up with prac for today. Also finished my run from this morning as well. I think I ran a little bit over 6.5 miles, slightly under a 9-minute pace. Honestly, felt pretty good for my 5th day running in a row. Almost got ran over by a car though. So that did wake me up. But on to tip number 2, put your ego aside. Now this point is twofold. First, you don't know as much as you think you know. The worst is when a candidate comes into an interview hot as balls, spewing nonsense left and right, coming off as he's trying to teach us something. Not only is that just a massive turnoff, in most cases, he's just factually wrong. Talk about red flags. Now, most first jobs in sports are internships. And as an intern, at least with the Rays, we don't expect you to help us win any games at all. Our expectation is that you'll add negative value as an intern. And that's just the way it is. The point as an intern is to learn, understand how the team and industry works, and then find a path you're interested in and seek that out. We don't care that you thought that we should have got Sean Murphy in the offseason. I mean, mostly because we hear that enough from the media already. Second point about your ego, take whatever job you can in the industry. If your goal is to get into baseball operations, I don't care if it's a video intern, ticketing, sales, even a mascot. You just need to get in with the team. Once you're in, you'll start to understand how the team works and learn from there. As a prime example, one of our assistant directors of baseball operations wasn't even in baseball ops when she first started with the Rays. I'm pretty sure she was in ticketing and sales. She was there for about 1.5 years and then transferred over into baseball ops after that. Through networking, value proposition, and timing, she was able to pivot into the role she ultimately wanted. But she wouldn't have gotten that opportunity if she wasn't already with the Rays. Yeah, it may not be sexy to work in a different department or in the minor leagues, but you gotta do what people don't to get what people don't have. Tip number 3 is probably one of the most important tools for any job, but especially in this industry, and that is networking. Now, networking sucks. Being social sucks. English is hard and it's my first language. It's not always about what you know, but who you know. Honestly, I probably wouldn't even have this job if it wasn't for networking. Think about it like this. You have two candidates. They have the same background, same skills, and are equally as attractive as one another. But you just happen to play with one in high school, so you know his work ethic, personality, and how he presents himself. Who would you take? It's a no-brainer, right? If you're in high school or college, you probably hear this all the time from your peers and from your parents. If you're graduated and you're in the working class now, you understand why this is so important. With that said, you shouldn't just talk to someone because they work in the sports industry that you want to get into. People you talk to also have their own network as well. So even if your buddy's dad doesn't work for an NBA team, he might know someone in his network that does and can point you in the right direction. That's why it's always smart to be nice to everyone that you meet, because you may not know who they are or who they may know. It's getting late now, but just finished up some work for the day. But getting to tip number 4, probably the second most important behind networking is understanding how you provide value to the team. The Utah Jazz has a bona fide defensive rating. What are some creative ways to evaluate defense that hasn't been fleshed out before? Every team in the league has problems that they're constantly trying to solve. And those problems could be the difference between winning a Super Bowl and missing the playoffs by a game. Now, with that said, your value doesn't have to come directly from your job responsibilities. From a personal example, I was a financial recruiter for 3 years before I even took this job with the Rays. Yet these communication skills, though sometimes mumbly and tastefully undermining at times, helped me get this position today to work with coaches and upper level execs. Though I'm in the baseball industry, I need to have different skills and experiences that other people don't have, so I'm able to do jobs that they can't. You need to not only provide value in the sport that you're currently working in, but also leverage other skills that you have to add something new to the table as well. Now, to wrap everything up, the 4 main things are know your team, put your ego to the side, network, and understand your value. Those are 4 of the better pieces of advice I can give you if you want to land your dream job in the sports industry. If I could add another one, it would be to start as soon as possible. Grow your network while you're young, learn as much as you can, build that database of knowledge, and leverage that as early as you possibly can. But I'll leave it on this. Choosing to leave my job in New York and take this other job with the Rays in a new state where I knew no one in the industry was probably one of the best decisions of my life. I was very comfortable living in the city. I had a lot of friends there. I was happy, had a lot of freedom, and just overall very content with my life. But that changed to move to a new place where I knew no one, especially during the pandemic when nothing was going on, was a massive change for me, and it did hit me very hard. Though it was pretty depressing at times, like I'm still here and I'm loving my job now. In some ways, parts of these past couple years have been the happiest of my life, and in others, it's been the absolute worst by a mile. But the thing is, you'll never know how much you like or dislike your dream job unless you get to experience it yourself.